public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Transportation, RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
I'm a champion, realize Shaq's mechanism.
Hi, Shaquille O'Neal for RAD. This is not your normal PSA. Don't be stupid. Don't drink and drive. If you're gonna go out and have a good time, it's fine. But designate a driver to drive home. Let's stop the madness. Don't drink and drive.
A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Transportation, RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
You are now listening to Beasts of the East with Ryan Morick, Scott Thompson, and Dean Roventini on WRPR 90.3 FM.
Thank you, far too kind. Can I get an encore?
Hello, fans of all ages. We are indeed the Beasts of the East. Ryan Morick, Scott Thompson, Dean Roventini here with you on this Monday, September 12th, 2016. Fresh off of a Giants victory and a Jets loss. So we're here happy.
I don't.
It's not happy. We don't like talking about losses, but yeah, I'm happy. Anyway.
I'm happy that the Giants won.
Well, I'm not happy that the Jets lost.
Special announcement, though. Brian, I would like to start off the show, please.
Oh.
We have a special announcement.
What? What might this be?
It's your birthday today, Ryan.
So
happy birthday.
Wait, today is?
Yeah, today's your birthday, bro.
Oh.
You forgot?
Okay. Thanks for letting me know.
Happy birthday, Ryan.
21 years ago, Denise and John Morick had their second child.
Some say the good one, others say the freak.
No, it's the freak.
It is the freak.
I have true middle child syndrome.
So, where do I sign up with you, too?
Yeah, so do you. No, you want to hear something great? When we were in Avalon,
Okay.
we took our GoPro with us, and you ever see those bouncy houses and like it has a trampoline and like the blob, and you jump on the blob and it
For the water?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So we went on one of those, and I was
Oh, that's awesome.
So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna bring the GoPro, and my parents were like, "Rye," and then I brought the GoPro to the Kenny Chesney concert too. They were like, "Rye," like stern face, like look at me right in the eyes, "Rye, if you lose that, you're paying us however much money it was, blah blah blah." Like the
Parents. Okay.
This was one of the most firm talks my parents have ever had with me.
About a GoPro?
About yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if I lost a GoPro in the water,
Did you?
no.
Oh.
So the next day, Haley, my sister, says, "Mom, Dad, can I take the GoPro to the beach?" "Yeah, go ahead. Just be careful." So let me get this straight. The now 21-year-old, then 20-year-old. This was 2 weeks ago, so it's not like I'm any more mature than I was 2 weeks ago. Rye, don't you dare lose that. Haley, 15, could barely dress herself in the morning. Oh, yeah. Go.
That's harsh.
Hey,
I bet she does fine.
I don't know what it is, but
It's the middle. I swear.
No, it's the same thing. It's the same thing with me.
Middle child syndrome.
I could be 35 and I'll still.
That might be the baby thing, though, because like, that's
Yeah.
what my parents would, well, my mom
Yeah.
would do to me.
But I don't think it's babying. I just think
You,
it's.
you know what it is, though?
Babe, no, I'm saying.
You know what it is? I've given my parents enough examples of me breaking things and stuff like that where they just
I mean,
they have to say
I'm
it.
not.
It's
I'm
just
no saint.
it's
I
just
realize that.
it's just a precaution, I guess.
I'm the responsible one in my family, and I'll expect a text from my parents in a little bit. No, you're not. Amanda is.
Amanda got married before you did, Dean. Like, oh, what does that have to do with anything?
Yeah, whatever.
Sorry.
Whatever.
I mean, I'm not the best child ever. I mean, like there are times like my family will say something, I'll find out about it like a month and a half later, and they're like, "You didn't know about this?" I'm convinced that they just don't tell me anything. Like I'll be here for like 2 weeks, and everyone's like, "You didn't know about that?" "Oh, sorry, I've just." You know,
newsletter.
You must have said at the dinner table why I haven't been in the last week and a half, 2 weeks. But hey, you know what? Whatever. So, Jets coming off of a tough loss. They lost yesterday 23-22 to Cincinnati. For the most part, the Jets really outplayed Cincinnati all day. And then We've seen it with the Jets before. We saw it again yesterday. They blow it late, and you're concerned because Dean and I were talking about this on Friday. Their schedule is very tough, and there is a realistic possibility that they can start off this season 0-6. It's realistic.
It's scary, and especially with the game yesterday. You're like, okay, the Jets are a real deal, which they are. I think yesterday you can say that Nick Folk lost you the game. But
Brandon Marshall lost you the game because of the Darrell Reeves. There's so many
different things. But I don't know. I mean, it's scary to look at because it reminded me kind of the way the Giants were a little bit last year with, just dropping everything late, not being able to go in crunch time, and I don't know. It was a little bit of a gut check, I feel like, for the Jets yesterday.
Dean, before we go to you, let's hit the phone lines really quickly right here on Beast of the East on WRPR 90.3 FM. Who is this? Where are you calling from?
Anthony, cousin of Scott.
Hey, Anthony. How you
What's up,
doing?
man?
How's it going, guys?
Not too bad. How about yourself?
Pretty good.
Good. What's on your mind, bud?
A long day, but it was worth it, I guess.
There you go. Not bad. Thoughts on the Jets, Anthony? What do you got?
On the Jets? Well, AJ Green beat the crap out of Revis. He had 50 yards for 12 catches.
He had 12 catches, 180 yards,
and
one touchdown, and 41
yards.
Fantasy points for me. So
41, wow.
PPR and 5-yard bonus for 100 yards.
Okay.
Pissed me off.
Well, what are you going to do? Yeah, that's fantasy football for you.
Seriously, go for the best guys.
I mean, that's how Jet fans are supposed to feel today. I mean, they know that they have a really tough schedule, and they're already coming off of a short week. They have to travel to Buffalo. News is that Sammy Watkins is injured, so we'll see what his status is on Thursday. But you're at Buffalo. They have one home game in the next 5 weeks, and that's luckily for the Jets. The Seahawks looked terrible yesterday against a really bad Miami Dolphins team. That's the only thing that looks good for the Jets right now. That and their defensive line, which we'll get into soon, because that's definitely a bright spot for this team. But they have 5 weeks, one home game, at Buffalo, at Kansas City, home against Seattle, at Pittsburgh, and at Arizona. That's their schedule for the next 5 weeks. Realistically, they can go 0-6. As good, I really believe the Jets are a good team. But when you have that kind of schedule, when you're facing 5 teams that made the playoffs and one team that split with you last year, and the team that made you not go to the playoffs last year to start off the season, you're in tough luck. Back up to the phone lines again. Who's this and where you're calling from right here on Beast of the East?
It's Anthony. I lost you guys.
Oh, yeah. What's up, man? Sorry.
Oh, yeah. It's no good. We're talking about the Jets.
Yeah, what else you got on them?
I think my friend Johnny, he's really pissed off that they lost. But I think from what I heard, they played a good game, and they only lost by 1.
Yeah, see, this is what I was going to say. Ryan, they're not going 0-6. They win at Buffalo. The only reason is because, in my opinion, that front line absolutely destroyed the Bengals running game. And LaShawn McCoy now, with Sammy Watkins out, is going to get twice as many touches as what he had. So I think that the Bills couldn't get anywhere in the passing game. LaShawn McCoy was their only true source of offense, if you want to call it that, yesterday. I mean, that they got 1 touchdown from him, but it was nothing. He didn't even have over, I think, 60 yards rushing. So I think the Jets come out with a victory against the Bills, but after that, I mean, it's all up in the air, and you really got to figure things out, especially Thursday.
And give me your prediction on Thursday.
Who's they playing Thursday?
At Buffalo.
It's at Buffalo? Oh, that might be tough. They might be rowdy at Ralph Wilson, but I don't know. I think what Scott said is right. I think the Jets could win, get Marshall and Decker involved, and they'll probably have a good game.
We'll see. And thanks a lot for the call. We'll talk to you soon, man.
Yeah, see you. Bye.
All right, later. But you're right, though. It's all up in the air because these are all games that they could win. Also, we said the other day they can go 6-0, they can go 0-6, they can any record that they have in these next 5 games. You're not surprised about, and that's basically the story of the Jets and the Giants also for the last 5, 6, 7, 8 years. Every game that they have played is easily winnable, and it's just as easily losable. But right now for the Jets, yesterday, not a good way to start off the year, especially with a schedule like this.
It's kind of hard, especially for the Jets right now, because it was a winnable game. They could have had it.
They had it.
Brandon Marshall, a few drop passes. That interception Fitzpatrick threw where he underthrew, I believe it was Decker. Yeah, Decker. And then the missed extra point by Falk, who has never. It was the first one he's missed his entire career, I believe. But there is bright spots, and I think it is that defense, that front line, and just if you can't count out the Jets or especially Brandon Marshall after having one bad game, because especially the year he had last year and who he really is, that's not Brandon Marshall, and I think everyone knows that. So you can't have your head too down, but I think they'll be all right.
And especially with Sammy Watkins being out, you don't have to worry about Darrelle Revis having to go up against a wideout that is clearly faster than him. I mean, that's been the thing with him, especially last year too. We saw him against star receivers that have 4.4 speed. He can't keep up anymore, and he's trying to play off, but it doesn't help because he's clearly getting beat and needs safety help. You saw that with A.J. Green yesterday. You saw that with DeAndre Hopkins last year, especially in that Texans game in Houston. But I think it helps that the Jets kind of get, I wouldn't say a break against the Bills, but clearly their offense yesterday against the Ravens, whose defense, is a little bit bolstered with Terrell Suggs coming back, but they're still a little shaky in the secondary. They literally couldn't put one thing together. Yeah. I mean, when Charles Clay is your leading leading target, but LaShawn McCoy had the most targets yesterday. I mean, that means you clearly can't get anything going. So I think it's going to be a little bit of a pickup game for the Jets, where they can play like they did against the Bengals, come out with victory, but hopefully you're trying to bring everything and mesh it in for that long stretch you got with these next 3-4 games after that, where you're going to be tested.
201-825-1234 is the phone number. That's 201-825-1234. The good thing about the Jets, though, is that the Bills and Dolphins both lost. And then you're looking into last night saying, okay, the Patriots have no Gronk, no Brady, no Ninkovich, and they go out and win anyway. Every Jet fan has been saying Tom Brady suspended. There is somewhat of a chance. And the opportunity, I believe that your wins are more important than other teams' losses because you have to win anyway to get into the playoffs. But in this situation where the division went 0-3 and the team that you are constantly catching up to, obviously they need to lose to break even so you can stay even, so you can stay tied. And I know there are 15 games left, but remember, this is a 16-game season. I went on a huge rant on my Facebook the other day saying how in baseball every game matters.
You do that a lot.
I do that a lot. But in all seriousness, though, if 162 games sometimes isn't enough in baseball, this is a 16-game season. Every game matters. And the fact that the Patriots, a lot of people were expecting them to lose last night. Jets lost yesterday, which was expected, but what wasn't expected was the Patriots winning last night, and that kills the Jets even more. The fact that they're not healthy, they're missing the best quarterback that we have ever seen, arguably, and you're down a game on them. They're 1-0, you're 0-1, and you are fully healthy, and they're not, and they beat one of the best teams in the league on the road. In my opinion, a team who can easily make the Super Bowl. Fitzgerald was incredible last night. The guy does not seem to age. And that hurt the Jets a lot. No. A big loss, a loss that they should have won, and it doesn't make it any better when a team, not a bad Patriots team, but a diminished Patriots team takes home a very impressive win.
Yeah, and you talk about impressive. Jimmy Garoppolo last night against one of the best secondaries, if not the best secondary in the league, picked them apart. 23 points he got to put up on the board in his first career start. clearly he's been watching Tom Brady. He's been learning. He's been doing what Aaron Rodgers did with Brett Favre, and clearly he's been looking at something, and something's been working. He has the physical tools. He's got the mental toughness to get through games, and like Jets fans, I think were on their seats last night. Like you said, the Bills lost, Dolphins lost, and everyone seemed to it was about to go back to 0-0 with that field goal that Cannizaro knocked in all last year, and a bad snap kills it. It came down to a bad snap, made him completely shank that. But hats off to Jimmy Garoppolo last night.
Even to add on that, the guy's he's been the clipboard guy the whole time he's been in the league. But you're in that system too. There's that New England system is flawless. It seems kind of like I think you could put anyone in there
because they're all geniuses.
Bill
Belichick is a flat out genius. Tom Brady is a genius also. When he comes back,
and Garoppolo just played fantastic in it. He did a great job. But I hope I feel like this is going to be like another kind of Matt Castle kind of deal where he does good and then some teams we want him. we want to get him.
And that's the good part about the Patriots too, because a lot of people say that Tom Brady. I've heard people say this. I don't know about you guys, but I've heard people say Tom Brady's overrated because Matt Castle took the Patriots to 11-5. What they're not realizing though is that the year before that, they didn't lose anyone. They didn't gain anyone. They basically had the same team back-to-back years, except Tom Brady tearing his ACL. And the year before that, they were 16-0. So obviously, they were. Obviously 11-5. I think they still won the division that year, but 16-0, 11-5, still a big difference. And this is where I'm getting at. Trade value for these guys. I don't think they're going to trade Garoppolo. I'm just saying that
you shouldn't.
They shouldn't trade Garoppolo, exactly. But let's say a guy like Matt Castle, he's coming off of his 11-5 season. Maybe he might pass the eye test. Maybe his stats aren't all that good. But Brock Osweiler, he just signed an $18 million contract. Does he deserve that? No, but when you're the starting quarterback for the majority of the season for a Super Bowl winning team, you're going to get paid. And like we all said, the Patriots should not trade Jimmy Garoppolo, but for all teams, and even for the Patriots, let's say Garoppolo does get hurt or something, and they're stuck with Joe Schmo, their third-string quarterback, for the rest of the year, God forbid.
Yeah.
They actually love him.
That's
they actually love him. No, I was actually reading if they're the other options other than Brady, I forgot his name though. Big dude.
They just drafted him, Jacoby.
Ellsbury?
No. Brissett.
First of all, you said no like I was completely serious. You're no, of course not. Jacoby.
No, it's Jacoby. Some of the B.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Or Brissett,
something like that. But they love him too. They think he's awesome.
He's
too. So
he's great.
That's what I'm saying. They might just do it get whatever they can out of it.
But if they're smart, if they're smart, they look at what the Broncos did. They get rid of Brock Osweiler, and now they have Trevor Siemian in the way, who shouldn't have won that game against.
He shouldn't have won the starting job either.
No, against the Broncos.
I still think it should have been Sanchez. Side note. That's my personal. I still think it should have been Sanchez. That's my opinion.
But
yeah, I don't know where he came out of.
No,
I thought it was gonna be Sanchez or even Lynch.
But the Patriots are too smart, and especially after last night, he's good, and clearly he can work the system. He can use whoever's around him. I mean, when you're using guys like Julian Edelman, and you didn't have Gronk either. Mm-hmm. You were using Chris Hogan. I mean, hey, again, hats off to Jimmy Garoppolo. Great night last night.
Mm-hmm.
But how good is the Jets' defensive line? Hold your thoughts.
Thank you.
Because we'll talk about it in a couple of minutes right here on Beast of the East on WRPR 90.3 FM, Ramapo College Radio.
90.3 Ramapo Radio, WRPR Mawa. Ramapo! Are you sick of DJs who get paid to get songs played off a set list that exists in the money-filled fists of the fat cat? That's old hat. You don't need that. Let's bring back the good tracks with the real cats who you knew you and blew you away with the way they could say what they wanted to say every day. Let's bring back the good old days when cruising with the tunes in the afternoons was in, and human beings were human beings who loved the simple things, not being rough, tough, or rich enough to buy all that stuff. When people drove with their windows open and listened to music and had good times rolling, and they loved singing with the radio. Singing with the radio. Let's bring that back, Ramapo 90.3 on the FM dial. While streaming online, you'll find WRPR is by the people for the people. And let's bring back Singing with the Radio.
Go, 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 shorty. It's your birthday. We gon' party.
I already knew you were gonna play this.
It's your birthday. We gon' sip
I had it in the back of my head. I knew you were gonna play it.
I didn't play this.
I played this. I played this. That's right.
Someone's happy he's turning 20.
Ryan low-key loves that it's his birthday. Loves it's his birthday. And who doesn't? 20th birthday, I was walking around with a smile my entire day.
That was a great night.
You just don't feel like you're doing anything wrong anymore. Like, let's
No crimes no more.
It's such a...
Watch what you say.
No.
This school might be...
Whatever. Anyway. It's a weight lifted off your shoulders. And it really is. It's a huge weight lifted off your shoulders.
I told Dean before, like, I've never touched a cigarette, I've never whatever, but when I turned 19, I almost went to Wawa and just bought a pack of cigarettes just because I could.
Why?
Just because I could. Just because I could.
It's weight lifted off your shoulders, but at the same time, it's like, now I'm an official adult.
Yeah.
Or now
the
you're
worst
an
thing is
official
going
adult.
to be, though, when you say you go out, you go, say, like, whatever, you go out to dinner, and you're like, you know what, I'm going to grab myself a drink.
Yeah, have
and
fun
they
spending
don't
tons of
card
money.
you, you're going to be like, wait a minute.
Oh, I know.
Wait a minute.
Only once.
Ma'am.
Only once. I look like I'm 14. Look, I just shaved today. I went from 16. You know, I had a little bit of a goatee situation going on.
Oh, yeah, you didn't keep it.
I went back to 14. So, oh well.
Same.
21 going on 14.
Yeah.
You ever see 13 going on 30?
Great movie.
Good movie.
Good movie.
Good movie.
Jennifer
I'm glad
Gardner.
I'm not the only one.
I love you if
Jennifer
you're listening.
Gardner. What was I just going to say? I don't know. We were talking about 13 going on 30. That's what I was going to say. So, before we get into the Jets D-line,
Okay.
who went off in fantasy really quick?
Oh, my God. Can I go first?
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Dean.
Well, I'm just saying because he was on my team.
He said it this morning at 9:30 in class. He
Well,
said,
he asked me. Drew Brees. Drew Brees had a day in fantasy. Got me personally 44 points. A bunch of bonuses out the wazoo. Just a ridiculous, game for them, and they lost. And they lost. Same thing. Even though Andrew Luck.
By the way,
Andrew Luck went off
my
too.
condolences about the Colts.
Yo, right? Me and Scott both.
All right, listen. Me and Dean picked the Colts in a survivor pool, thinking that Andrew Luck's back. They're at home. They're playing the Lions. It wasn't even the offense.
Yeah.
Their defense was god awful.
Well, yeah, you got off when you let up a game-winning field goal when you
in
scored
40
a touchdown with
seconds,
30
6
seconds.
plays, literally.
Yeah. I text how I text was like a minute 20 maybe. So I was like, Colts.
You two texted our group chat.
It was at
I knew as soon as
Dean,
I
the
said that,
time was 1:18 on the clock.
Yeah, right.
When we both texted each other. Why did we do that?
But yeah, now it's over.
Oh, and they had 2 chances at a pick too. It went
yes,
straight over.
Oh,
just right over the head.
But yeah, my pick is Drew Brees and Andrew Luck. He had a good game too.
Yeah, we already talked about him. AJ Green, 180 yards on only 12 catches. He had a 54-yard touchdown, all on Darrelle Revis.
It's a vacation.
I wanted to say this before, but I wanted to wait till now because we knew that we were going to do this. Kim Jones actually tweeted something out. The NFL Network did a little research on when Andy Dalton throws to AJ Green when Darrelle Revis is guarding him.
Was this just yesterday or
This is career. Andy Dalton has 152.1 passer rating when throwing to AJ Green when Darrelle Revis is on him, which clearly means
you know what the Bengals
he just
should
owns
do?
Darrelle Revis.
You know what the Bengals should do? Try to schedule games against the Jets every week.
I hate you so much.
Yeah, man. Can we shut
Oh,
his
you're
mic
not allowed
off,
to do
Steve?
that?
No.
You know what it's time for? It's time for Revis to transition to a safety. That's what I think.
No. He needed
Not a
tons
bad
of safety
idea.
help yesterday, but
Not a
hey,
bad idea.
AJ Green took advantage of it, and that was 32 points, I think, for him. Maybe a little more, depending on what your league
Depends.
was.
Yeah,
Depends what your league is.
like my league 41, PPR 5-point bonus, 100 yards. Standard leagues
probably around
24.
Yeah, but it was amazing to
He
watch
was
him.
good.
You want to hear a fun fact?
What's your
Go ahead.
If Brandon Cooks does not play a game for the rest of the season, Des Bryant would have to play 17 games to match his record from his 98 from his point total from
Really?
his 98-yard touchdown. Yeah, because think about it. Standard leagues, Brandon Cooks 98-yard touchdown. 9.8 plus 6, that's 15.8.
Yeah.
Yesterday, Des Bryant in standard leagues, 0.8 points.
Wow.
1 catch for 8 yards, yeah.
I'm sorry.
Don't give up on him, though.
Well,
actually, maybe. You
We'll
might
get
should be
into it
worried.
later because I want to talk about the Giants and Cowboys game, obviously, but we're still going to talk about the Jets. But they really need to use Des more. They do. And we'll get into that. But real
let's get
quick,
into that.
and I'm not going to say Brandon Cooks is my fantasy stud of the week. Mine was Spencer Ware.
Oh.
I saw Jamal Charles got hurt. Did a little research. Saw that Charkanick West was not going to play. Spencer Ware. Picked him up Friday. Boom. 26.2 points for me.
Who's available?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was very surprised. He was also
10
available in my league.
10-team league. So
Oh.
Okay.
He was
Little skewed.
he was
Let's see.
drafted in my league, I think.
Keep talking. I'm going to do a little research right now in my league, see if I can get him.
you should.
I hate talking.
No, because half people in my league. No offense to women at all, but my cousins and my girlfriend,
I hope
they're not
not.
very smart when it comes to this stuff. So
Yeah,
They don't know
I
fo-
helped
they
out
don't know
Melissa in
football.
her draft. Cam Newton was picked 3rd overall. I was like, okay, thanks.
I got Ezekiel Elliott at 9. So
that's
yeah,
that's actually reasonable though.
not really. Nope, he's
it
taken.
depends.
Spencer Ware was taken.
That
Oh, well.
stinks.
Oh well.
Oh well. Oh well. So
about them
Jets D line. How many sacks did they have total yesterday? Because I know in the first half they had like 6.
Andy
Yeah.
Dalton was on his rear end a lot. I wasn't really
Yeah.
paying attention to that because I was more focused on them crushing the run game. Jeremy Hill couldn't get anywhere. Literally every single time you saw that blue line, he landed on it.
Yeah. Well, Jeremy Hill's overrated.
They are so powerful, and you even said Sheldon Richardson not there, Ryan.
They lose Damon
They
Harrison.
lose David Harrison. He moves over to the Giants, and they're still one of the best lines in football.
Yeah. Well, Mo Wilk is a freak. Leonard Williams is a freak. They're unbelievable.
Yeah,
they're unbelievable.
They stole Williams in that draft. What was it, 2 years ago? Or
last
was
year.
it last year? Yeah, he was a rookie last year.
People said he was the best athlete in the draft, and
Stole
they got
him
him at 6.
Stole him at 6.
7
they
sacks.
thought he was supposed to get
7 sacks.
Wow. Who led them? Come on, Dean.
It's just an app, guys.
David Harris didn't have a bad game yesterday, at least from what
No.
I saw. I was on red zone for the most part, but
Yeah.
they're
Again,
very dangerous. They have a very good
Leonard Williams,
defense.
2.5.
Leonard Williams, 2.5.
so they were getting contributions from everywhere,
Yeah, really are.
and it was more their secondary couldn't make up for the 3rd and longs because obviously Andy Dalton is as overrated, underrated as you want to call him. He's an efficient quarterback, and
yeah.
he knows what he's
If
doing.
Darrelle Revis makes a play on one pass, it's a completely different game.
Absolutely,
It's a completely different game because 180 divided by 12. Think that's about
that's
12.
exactly. I think that's exactly 15 yards.
would that be 15?
I think that's
80 divided by 12 because then you do the 180.
Jesus.
It's something like that.
We're journalism majors. We don't do math anymore.
Yeah, for real.
It's exactly
Yeah.
15. Yeah.
That's 15 yards a pass. That's a first down and a half. Every
That's
play.
a first down with a false start. Every
Yeah.
every
If Revis makes
yeah.
a play on one of those balls, completely different.
Not one of those balls. He should have made a play on that 54-yard touchdown. I mean,
Yep.
he kind of gave up on it because there was no safety help,
Yeah.
and he was
So,
like
I mean-
he knew he was going to get beat. But what are you going to do?
Revis Island seems to be eroding, and pretty quickly.
Eroding, nice.
And it's sad because
It
what was it?
is.
2 years ago, we literally said I said that he was the best corner in the league, not necessarily because he would lock guys down, but because of the fact that I never saw Revis as this lockdown ball magnet corner. I saw him as just a guy who can take someone out of a play right then and there off the line, and that right away causes the best receiver on your team to be out of the play.
Yeah.
And now that you see him just getting absolutely toasted, and this isn't the first time we've seen this in the last 12 months. We saw it last year too.
Yeah, he can't jam those star receivers anymore. You won't see Darrelle Revis jam Odell Beckham or Julio Jones
Yeah.
like he could have a few years ago. He's got to play 5 yards off because he's good at anticipating, and he uses his knowledge more now than his physical attributes. I mean, when he was, hand in hand with both his mental and physical game, he was the best corner in the league. Now I would say you could call Patrick Peterson, I think, the best corner in the league. Some would say Josh Norman. But that's a
You
different-
can you
that's
can
a
make an
different story.
argument for like 5 or 6 corners being the best in the league.
My
People
personal
still say
opinion is
Revis.
Patrick Peterson.
Yeah, he's up there.
That would
Yeah.
be my opinion also.
Yeah, but that's what you have to do. As you age in this game, you have to evolve, and you're not going to be able to play the same way you will. You can look at baseballs the same way. A-Rod basically had to step in the bucket to turn on an inside fastball. He couldn't do his normal batting stance anymore. You can look at any aspect, but Darrelle Revis, like you said, might have to
Start changing. And that's not a bad thing. Because having that mind out there
is always good.
Is insane.
Always
So,
good. He can
very
read
smart.
offenses. He knows what guys
Yeah,
are doing. He
he's
jumps
very
routes.
smart.
He's still a smart player.
Oh,
He just doesn't have
and he's a genius.
the physical ability anymore. And what hurts the Jets is that they have him for another 4 years after this.
Yeah.
And people said even if he was at his prime, it was still an overpaying for Darrelle Revis.
But he can still be effective. Like I said, if they switch
Effective,
him,
yeah,
if they not as a corner though, I think that when you say with that deal with 4 more years, I don't think he's going to be Darrelle Revis anymore at the corner for that much longer.
I can't wait to see if Josh Norman's worth the money tonight on Antonio Brown. That's
Oh,
just
no,
me,
no,
though.
yeah.
That's
He's gonna
unfair.
get burned.
That's unfair.
Yeah.
I
He literally
think
picked the
Josh
worst
Norman is
place to go.
overrated, but that come on, everyone's gonna say Josh Norman's. I mean, I say it anyway.
He picked the
but
worst
I'm
place
not,
to go.
He did.
You look at
Awful.
you look at the start of the year. Oh man.
I can go for days on him, but
On Norman, so can I. He's just been. He can't keep Odell's name out of his mouth.
I wouldn't have known who he was if it wasn't for Odell. Plain and simple.
Last year he did have a good year.
I
Before
had no
that.
clue who he was until that Panthers game.
Really?
Really?
I heard his name pop up.
Because
But
of that.
how long
Panthers
has
No,
he?
I didn't hear.
How
from
long
before
has
last
he been
year.
in
I didn't
the
hear-
league?
He's 29.
He's 29
No,
years
but
old.
he's not long though. Like he's
He
just
has-
He
he
got
has-
into the league when he was
yeah.
like what 25 or
Yeah,
something like
he
that?
has
They
one elite
just
year, and people are telling him he's the best corner in the league.
No, I agree. I agree.
You got to prove a lot more than that, and we'll see what happens.
The big thing was because of that game too.
Yeah.
But he didn't take out Odell based off like physical things. He just got him into him mentally.
Yeah, I will say to this day, Odell burned Norman on routes. He did. He burned Norman on routes that day, and people don't want to believe it because Odell did not have a good stat line. But sometimes
Oh, no,
stats don't
yeah.
show who won. I will say Josh Norman won the matchup, but that's on paper. That's statistically speaking. And you know what? Odell did burn Norman on that what would have been 52-yard touchdown. If Odell catches that ball, Odell has a completely different stat line, and the Giants probably don't lose that game, and Odell probably doesn't go psycho in that game. Obviously, all of those things did not happen. It was the complete opposite, but a lot of people say that Josh Norman had a good day that day.
Nope.
Far from the truth.
And tonight he's going to have an awful day.
That's also because Antonio Brown.
Yeah, no, I know. You can like cross this game out. He can prove himself the rest of the season because it's just going to be unfair tonight.
Over under standard leagues. You know, we'll go. No, standard leagues. We'll do.
I'm going to be completely biased. I need.
All right,
Antonio, I was telling you this morning.
That's right.
We'll go stat by stat instead of fantasy points. Over under 11.5 catches for Antonio Brown.
Over.
Oh, yeah.
As much as I don't want it to happen because I'm playing him tonight and I need him at 19 points.
I'm playing him tonight, but I also have Ben Roethlisberger. So.
19
But
points.
he
is
gets
what I need.
targeted a lot. Roethlisberger isn't going to be intimidated by Norman. He's going to.
The thing is, he's going to get targeted a lot more now because of Martavis Bryant being out. Marcus Wheaton.
Love Wheaton now.
So, yeah, a lot of people picked him up because of that secondary. I mean,
He's going to be
that-
Martavis Bryant,
yeah,
too.
He's going to be on the opposite side,
Yeah,
but
so-
still. Antonio
yeah,
Brown's
over-
going to be in
over
Ben
11
Roethlisberger's
catches.
mind every single third
So
down.
you say over 11.5 catches.
Absolutely.
Over under 125 yards.
First game of the season, I'll say under.
So 11 catches, but under 125 yards?
He's done it before. That's
true.
It can happen. I mean, just
Yeah. It's not like,
like we
he's
said-
not really a big, like, you know what I mean? It's not like he's just a run straight guy.
and-
His forte is beating people with the ball.
yeah, and
Yeah.
and
That's the thing he's best at.
and because Martavis Bryant, who is your deep threat, is out. You don't really have to focus on Marcus Wheaton that much. You can kind of run your secondary scheme around kind of doubling and controlling Antonio Brown, but at the same time you can't control him like you said because he's so elusive, he's so shifty. He's got running back feet in a wide receiver's body. It's absolutely insane.
That's going to be exciting. That's going to be a good game, too. Who wins that? Steelers are going to win that game, right? I hope so. I mean,
Yo, you don't know what this, man. First week has been crazy.
Kirk has played very well, though. Ever since week 8 or week 9 of he was unreal. You don't like him?
We'll see
I think
tonight.
he's a solid
I'll see tonight.
I'll tell you who likes Kirk Cousins. The guy on the phone right now. What's up, TJ?
How you doing, buddy?
You like Kirk Cousins tonight, right?
Love him.
He thinks Kirk Cousins is better than Eli.
Oh, come
Yeah,
on.
I do think Kirk Cousins.
Come on. You're serious right now. You cannot be serious.
But I think
Bro, he doesn't utilize what's around him, TJ. He has Deshaun Jackson, who's probably the best deep ball threat in the league.
You can argue that.
Now he's got Josh Doxson. Love to see what he does with him tonight. Along with Jameson Crowder, and he throws to Jordan Reed every single time.
Yeah, he's a monster. Their offense is a powerhouse.
Oh, it is, though. I mean, they lose. Who's the running back now? They lose Alfred
Matt
Morris.
Jones.
Yeah, Matt Jones.
Okay. We'll see, I mean,
TJ,
listen, we'll see what happens, but
I know you didn't want to
man.
talk about the Redskins. I know you
All I
want
know
to talk about the Jets. So give me your thoughts on the Jets.
Listen, the Jets. This is what I said. This is what I said yesterday when I was watching the game. Even though, like, I do like to overreact as well, basically drive by drive, like play by play, but
that's all of us, man.
It really sounds crazy to say, but the Jets' their first offensive drive where they scored, and their first defensive stand, and like just throughout probably the whole first quarter, they looked like they could beat anyone in football.
Because they can.
They can. They have
but I don't think
all the tools.
I think any team could beat any team this year more than ever.
Yeah, but you know what I mean, though, TJ. Like, the Jets, and we said it before, the same thing with the Giants. I said before, there's a good shot that they might go 0-6, but would you be surprised if they won the rest of these 5 games? No, because they are a good team. They're a really good team.
I will be surprised if they lose to Buffalo on Thursday, though.
I was explaining that before if you were listening. I would be very surprised.
That and the Seattle game would be the 2 games that I really expect them to win.
See, you think they're going to beat Seattle?
With the way Seattle played yesterday.
Yeah.
And even dating back to last year, Seattle has not been the same team that they have been.
We'll see.
They usually bounce back.
The Seattle's defense, though, Jimmy Graham didn't play. So he played at the very end, but
not that Russell Wilson likes to throw to him anyway.
No matter what
but,
anyone wants to say about Jimmy Graham, he's still an elite athlete in the league.
Absolutely,
Athlete,
he just shouldn't be on that team because they don't utilize him the way they should.
Well, that was the first year. I don't know. Maybe this year they'll.
Yeah,
they'll
well,
be
we'll
better with
see.
Jimmy Graham,
But after Drew Brees' performance yesterday, I'm pretty sure he wants to trade his jersey back in.
How about after Arizona's performance last night? The Jets. When I was looking at the Jets schedule, I saw Jets at Arizona. I put that as a loss in my head. Now I'm thinking.
That's true.
Now I'm thinking the Jets could win that game. Oh, man, if the Jets they have to play mistake-free football, it's the Jets, so that's basically impossible to happen. But
of course you say that.
So after that,
you know what else I said yesterday when the Jets lose? Even though yesterday. Are you blaming Fitzpatrick? I didn't listen to you guys talk about it. I was playing Call of Duty match, but
I believe in Fitzpatrick because he has the tools.
You put yesterday's game on Fitzpatrick?
I didn't hear what you said.
Okay, yesterday's game on Fitzpatrick.
No, he did what he had to do.
Yeah.
It was other people, man.
You see, I don't know why they weren't throwing the ball down the field. I don't get why they didn't.
Because Forte was doing so well.
Forte was doing. Forte is a stud, by the way.
He is a stud.
Yes.
Stud. He's an absolute stud.
He's doing exactly what he's been doing with the Bears.
They only use one of their 3. They only use one of the guys. Even below Powell too. I thought.
Bilal Powell had a good game.
Quincy Enunwa.
What's up?
Did you say who had a good game? I said Quincy Enunwa. I thought he had a pretty good game too.
Yeah, no, he did. But I said Bilal Powell had a good game.
Yeah, Bilal Powell. I like their it's kind of like remember when the Giants when they beat the Patriots they had 3 running backs. I forget the name. Brandon Jacobs,
Ahmad Bradshaw, and Derek Ward.
Yeah, and they had like the power, speed, and whatever.
Earth, Wind, and Fire it was called, right?
Yes. Like I'm not saying it's like that, but the Jets with Forte wearing the defense out, and then Powell comes in. He's a little change of pace, and they both catch the ball. Like they're both very good receiving guys.
TJ, you're touching on a very good point in that because the running game, I think, is going to be a lot better than when they were with Chris Ivory last year. Obviously, Matt Forte is an absolute stud. He gets you positive yards every time that guy touches the ball, unless there's a all-out 9-man blitz. But Ryan Fitzpatrick, I think, has to really focus on his number 1, number 2 receivers. I mean, Anua yesterday did a very good job when he was thrown to, but I feel like Fitzpatrick, I don't know, I feel like he's got tunnel vision, and he's looking constantly near like the slot receiving slant, and where the tight end kind of does a quick little, 5-yard bench route. I don't know. I feel like he just doesn't focus on the 2 guys that are prolific playmakers in the league.
The thing about that is, which it doesn't make sense to me, because this is the more I think about it, the more this is the conclusion that I've came to. Last year, Decker and Marshall, you could say basically, Ivory did his thing, but it was Decker and Marshall was the bulk majority of the Jets offense. They were statistically the best receiving tandem in NFL history, but whatever. Now, even like yesterday, you saw a guy, Matt Forte, had to touch the ball. Bilal Powell, they made an issue to get him the ball. Quincy Enunwa, they got the ball. They even threw the ball to the kid Marshall from Ohio State.
Yep.
The kid, he has the big kick return. Mm-hmm. They like him a lot too. So I feel like they had a bunch of weapons and they wanted to use everybody, but they got away from what they did best last year. Yeah. Even though the run looked great yesterday, but on that third down, they ran the ball. They ran the ball 3 times. Yesterday, I was listening to Mike and Mike this morning. The Jets had the ball 2 possessions where they were within 5 yards of scoring, and in those 2 possessions combined, they walked away with 3 points.
Yeah,
you're not going to win football games like that against
absolutely not.
Bengals.
Absolutely not.
They have to play mistake-free football. After the Arizona game, before we let you go when we go to break, what's their record going to be?
Arizona. When's the Arizona game?
Week 6. So through 6 games, where are they going to be?
I want to say 3-3. Like that, 3-3 to me.
That's a goal.
Is good. That's 4-2 is. I think they could go 4.
4-2 is very good. 3-3. 2-4 is salvageable. 3-3 is what you want. 4-2 is exceeding expectations.
It's the dream.
In my opinion.
It's the dream. 4-2 is the dream.
TJ, thanks a lot for the call.
Problem,
we'll talk to you later. Thanks a lot.
Of course.
Always fun.
You guys.
All right, later. Giants talk coming up on Beats of the East. They're 1-0 for the first time since 2010. Don't go anywhere. 15 minutes left on the show.
Hi, this is Ozzy Osbourne. For many years, I've had a drink problem, and I'm trying to battle that problem every single day. But one thing I don't drive my car when I'm drinking. I get someone to drive me. Do not drink and drive. It's the stupidest thing. If you drink, just don't drive. Not only are you going to hurt yourself, you may hurt some other person, and you wouldn't want that on your conscience, would you?
A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Transportation, RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
Hey, this is Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers for RAD. I'm here to remind you that drunk drivers are still a major killer of young adults in this country. So always choose a designated driver, and remember, music lives, you should too.
Getting born in the state of Mississippi, Papa was a copper and Mama was a hippie.
A public service message brought to you by the U.S. Department of Transportation, RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
One more song in honor of me. My show, me, get out, everyone.
Oh my goodness.
In honor of
he did it in such a way where it was like, yeah, it is better.
Yeah, me.
Yeah. Jeez. Oh well.
So, Giants, again, 1-0 for the first time since 2010.
Hallelujah.
Trivia question. Who did they beat in 2020 week 1? 2010 week 1.
Dean, you go first. I'll go second.
Hint.
Skins.
It was their first game at the new...
I didn't get the hint.
It was first game at the new stadium. It's the same team that they got blown out by in their last game at the old Meadowlands, at the old Giant Stadium. Same team.
Eagles.
No.
Niners?
Not in the division.
Oh, then you stop giving these hints after I guess.
I said Niners. No. Wasn't the
Panthers.
Panthers.
Okay. Remember now? No.
Was Jake Delhomme still the quarterback?
Jake
That's a
Delhomme.
good question. I actually think he was.
Probably.
Was he?
I mean, it's been so long.
Yeah, I was actually thinking that.
That was also the last time the Giants played a Week 1 game at 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
It's been 8
usually
o'clock
been-
and 4:25.
Yeah, because it's been a Giants-Cowboys game for how many years now?
4 of the last 5.
Yeah, and I was at the one after the Super Bowl, and it was an absolute, complete disappointment.
Yeah.
That one.
Oh, yeah.
The four out of the last 5 have been against the Cowboys, and the one was a Monday night game against Detroit. That was 2014.
Yeah, the NFL just wants Giants fans to get a heart attack on
Basically.
week 1.
Basically, yeah. But the Giants, I mean, we had heart attacks yesterday, but we survived them because the Giants took home a 20-19 lead. Believe it or not, I actually have more things to say about the Cowboys. Like, if this were a national show, I would say a lot more about the Cowboys. And before we get into the Giants really quick, I guess I'll just talk about Dallas. I said it before, 2 things. One, they need to give Dez Bryant the ball. He cannot have 5 targets a game. He's the number 1 target on a really good offense. A very good tight end still in Jason Witten. Sure, he doesn't really do anything after he catches the ball, but he's very reliable. Obviously, a great offensive line, one of the best in the league. You have Ezekiel Elliott back there. Cole Beasley is a great go-to guy. Tony Romo, when healthy, is a very good quarterback. Their defense, obviously, is not very good. But going back to Tony Romo, him being hurt, Dak Prescott making his first start yesterday, he impressed me a lot.
Tons.
He was very confident yesterday, and he looked very confident up until they got inside the 35-yard line. And if they finish one more drive, the Giants lose the game. And you can credit the Giants' defense for picking it up. You can discredit the Cowboy offense for pretty much blowing it and not having good play calls, a.k.a. not giving it to Dez. And the one time they did give it to Dez in the end zone, he was barely out of bounds. But Giants played a really good game yesterday. I mean, when you look at the stat sheet and how many points they let up, it looks like a good game. It wasn't a great game from them because at the end of the day, the Cowboys scored on, 5 of their 7 drives. And the fact that the Cowboys had 7 drives throughout the game, they held onto the ball
Forever.
long time. A really long time. I think it was double what the Giants had.
It was triple at one point. It was 20 and change to like 7 or 5 and change, I think, at that point. But it showed you yesterday how Dak Prescott can be a very good quarterback in this league.
I really like what I saw.
It was like you said. Once he got to the 30, into the red zone, I feel like he was trying to do too much with the ball, trying to throw the perfect ball and make sure that he got that touchdown and wasn't being free like he was. But when he was in the middle of the field, he was calm and collected the entire time. The Giants were throwing a lot at him. Granted, he does have that offensive line behind him, so he had a lot of time to throw. But when he was pressured on safety blitzes from Dominic Rodgers-Cromartie in specific, that one where he came right in and had a clear shot and did one quick little sidestep and he was free. I mean, he's elusive.
That was also a pretty bad route efficiency
Well, yeah.
by Rodgers-Cromartie. He literally forced him to run to the right. But
yeah, but yes, he is extremely elusive. He has, like every single expert has been saying, the physical attributes. It's just that mental block that he gets when he's in the red zone of trying to pick the perfect throw. But he did a great job yesterday.
Well, it's also a rookie. I mean, you look at him, rookie starting his first game. He impressed me so much because he was calm, cool, and collected until he did get to that red zone. But when you get to that red zone, the whole field shrinks obviously, and a lot more where probably in his head he doesn't want to make that throw. He's very, he doesn't want to be that rookie who, has 3 picks in a game or something like that. But it shocked me how Dez didn't really get a lot of looks, and I was thinking about it all night. I was like, there's no way the offensive coordinator didn't call plays for Dez.
But Dez Bryant has never gotten anything more than I don't think he's ever had 100 catches in a season.
No, but this is my thing.
That sounds ridiculous.
Yesterday, especially, do you credit the Cowboys offensive coordinator not throwing Dez Bryant the ball and not making him his primary target, or do you give Janoris Jenkins absolute praise for locking down Dez Bryant? Because Dak Prescott had time, And Des Bryant, who's supposed to be one of the best wide receivers in the league, because he is, should be getting open. And clearly Dak Prescott's not throwing to him because he's being locked down. He had to check down to Jason Witten and Cole Beasley and even to Ezekiel Elliott sometimes. So Janoris Jenkins got high praise from Ben McAdoo today for the job that he did. And if you watch some replays, he was stride for stride on him in those long balls. I mean, that long ball that he caught in the end zone was supposed to be a safety switch that Landon Collins was still tightly guarded on him, but Janoris Jenkins had him locked down the entire time.
By the way, Des Bryant, year by year, targets and catches. 45 catches on 72 targets his rookie year. That was 12 games. 2011, 15 games, 63 catches, 103 targets. 2012, this was when he really solidified himself as the main target. 92 catches, 138 targets. Right, 92 receptions, 138 targets. 2013, 93 catches on 160 targets, so one more catch and 22 more targets. 2014, 88 catches, 136 targets, and last year only 9 games, 72 targets, 31 catches. This guy should be getting 160 targets is a solid number. 10 targets a game, I still think it should be higher. You should be getting about 1 per 4 downs, I'd say. Maybe about somewhere between 13 and 16 targets. And I just don't understand why the Cowboys don't give him the ball.
Is it their offense, though? It's the way that they've
it obviously is. It's proven that it's
they've been so focused, and especially now. I mean, if you want a killer to Des Bryant's career, in my opinion, where he might start asking for trades and start making some locker room issues, Ezekiel Elliott comes on that team. And Dallas is a run-first offense, no matter who they have behind him because of that line. Now you have a guy like Ezekiel Elliott and Alfred Morris, who is by no stretch of the imagination a scrub at all. He's a very good player, and you saw that in spurts yesterday. They're going to run a lot with the ball, and like we said with rookie quarterbacks, check downs are their get-out-of-jail-free card. You know, Eli Manning, you saw yesterday, Odell's running down the sideline, tight thing. Nope, I'm throwing it up. Dak Prescott wouldn't have thrown that up.
No.
You know, you wouldn't find any rookie quarterback throwing that up. They like the sure throw, a guy in open space, and that's going to be your Cole Beasley running straight across the field.
Yeah, because if they take the risk, then they get torn apart. But I like what you said about the field shrinking. And everyone knows that the Giants' biggest weakness is their linebackers. The field shrinks, the linebackers have less place to go. Realistically, that's a big reason why the Cowboys did not finish drives yesterday, because the Giants' defense had more room for error because the field shrunk, and that played a big reason. And you know what else played a big reason? The run games for both teams were the complete opposite of what it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
Ezekiel Elliott did not have a good game. When he ran on the outside, he did. But on the inside, Harrison and Hankins were phenomenal.
Not even Harrison and Hankins. First quarter, look at how many stops Olivier Vernon did one-on-one.
Yep.
He put him right down. It was amazing to watch how that line worked yesterday. Would have liked a lot more pressure on Dak Prescott, but again, with that Cowboys offensive line,
can't complain.
You can't complain at all. They did as much as they possibly could, and they relied more on their second tier in their linebackers and their third tier in their secondary. Linebackers were a little bit iffy to start. Jonathan Casillas was running all over the place, and I was surprised because Jason Witten doesn't have legs left. I mean, how can you not keep up with this guy? He still gets open somehow, some way. That's why he's going to be a Hall of Famer someday. But when the time came down to where they had that 3rd and 8 on their own 35, 30-yard line, they did their job and had Dan Bailey kick a field goal.
Put a smile on my face.
Because last year that would not have happened.
Yep.
Not at all. The secondary would have broke. The linebackers would have broke. Something would have happened. The Giants meshed yesterday on the defense, and that's what I love seeing, especially in the second half, putting a lot more pressure on and keeping everyone locked down.
I really liked the defensive line yesterday. I really thought that Zeke was going to kill them.
Yeah.
And he did not have a good game. I think he averaged He couldn't have averaged anything more than 3.5 yards a carry.
No.
He couldn't have.
I could tell you how many points he had because he was on my team. But
it was like, I think it was a little over 3.5.
Who scored touchdowns for Dallas yesterday?
Ezekiel Elliott scored 1.
Zeke scored 1, that's right. On a run to the outside.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's...
I don't know.
They must have had one more, right? Did Winton score one?
Dan Bailey had 17 points yesterday, so I don't know exactly what happened.
Well, they scored on 5 drives.
Or some big.
They scored on 5 drives, so touchdown, and then 7 plus 12 is 19. Yeah, they scored 1 touchdown yesterday, and Dan Bailey had 4 field goals.
Yeah.
This was a huge win for the Giants because, like we said, 4 of the last 5 years, they have played Dallas. All 4 of those years, they've lost. The Giants heading into yesterday were 0-7 in Week 1 games against Dallas. That means that the Giants are always falling to the Cowboys early in the season. And that means that in order to help themselves out, they have to beat the Cowboys the next time they face them. Now, would it be great if the Giants swept the season series? Absolutely, especially with their next matchup coming in the Meadowlands. But now, if they do lose that game, and however many weeks it is, it's salvageable. I know I said that word a lot today, but it's the truth. And now the Giants can afford a loss to the Cowboys. You know why? Because they do have a really good shot to sweep the Eagles. They do have a good shot to take 1 out of 2 against Washington. They have a solid chance to go 4-2 now. They have a good shot to go even 5-1 now. The fact that they just started 1-0 is big because they don't have to get out of this huge hole. They haven't been well, they were over 500 at one point last year, but outside of that, they hadn't been at 500 since 2011.
Yeah, and it all comes down, like we said, to those 1-point games, those 3-point games where just that one play could have changed things. And yesterday, there was no need for that one play. Again, you saw that fourth quarter run by Dak Prescott. What could have happened? Like the same thing that could have happened last year. You just break down in the fourth. That obviously didn't happen. As we said, everything clicked, and we got how much time left? Less than 2 minutes. We didn't even talk about the offense yet. How Eli Manning absolutely used every single piece,
awesome.
And not even Eli Manning. You can account Ben McAdoo and Mike Sullivan and Eli Manning as a whole using every single piece, every single asset they had yesterday, and perfectly. I mean, obviously they could have had a lot more points, but again, first game of the season, and you use everyone possible, and look what happened.
And the running game was very good.
McAdoo first win as a head coach. That was awesome.
And it's beautiful because look who didn't get a touchdown yesterday.
Odell Beckham Jr. And look who did get touchdowns. Sterling Shepard, Larry Donnell, Victor Cruz.
And you trust Sterling Shepard on a jump ball like that? It's great. It's honestly, it's so much fun, watching people like Sterling Shepard, who has high hopes, and he obviously delivers on that. Victor Cruz coming back in style. And
Saucin.
Eli Manning walking off with it.
And Rashad Jennings had a really good
Grab
game
your
too.
chips because the sauce is back.
Giants fans are definitely smiling today.
was.
It's been too long since a 1-0 start.
This is probably their biggest win in a long time.
In a long time. This set the tone, especially for the new era as well.
Exactly. That's why it's another
there was a poll today that said, did the Giants solidify themselves as the favorites in the division? I don't think so yet because of the fact that the Cowboys still take care, everybody. So long.